last Friday night fights. What's going on out there in YouTube land, baby? If you have not seen, the title of our show tonight is War Wallets and Power Plays. Iran explodes, Texas turns redder, and crypto's next gold rush. So let's go, baby. We're going to get right into it. What's going on with you, Max?
I feel like I'm tired. I feel like a rented mule.
It's all good, man. Sometimes stuff just happens, dog.
Awfully tired, boss. Awfully tired, boss.
All right, let's get into it then, folks. Let's get into it. So if you have not seen, what's up? What's up?
No, you smacking.
Oh, my bad. Let's get into it, folks. So, real quick, I had a discussion with someone this week in which they was complaining about us getting in this mess, and they said, they mentioned something about Iraq and all that and how long it took and all this, right? And I instantly knew that they were not informed because, well, let's just face it, I've been debating them this whole, I guess, political, era, whatever you want to call it. And I tell you one thing, folks, I've never in my life witnessed somebody that refuses to look up stuff. And then when you tell them tell them where you get things from and tell them what you done found, and you debunk what they have, they get quiet in the motherfucker. So today we was talking about the ability of our, military, and they're talking about how we going to be stuck in this forever. And I was like, you don't understand. Our military is so fucking precise with their bomb droppings. Do you know that people are out in the street and they dropping bombs and these people ain't getting hurt? Do y'all realize how crazy that sounds? I mean, these folks used to getting bombed, but I mean, seriously, for the public to be out, you have not heard verified or you have not heard public outrage about any civilians getting taken out by any of the bombs that America has dropped. Now, you have heard the propaganda that's been coming through Iran, which, the propaganda about that girls' school and all that good stuff, but that was their faulty rocket, and they actually have the flight paths on and all that stuff. But my point to the person I was talking to him was the fact that, one, the president has already said we were ahead of schedule. Two, he said it could possibly last weeks. Now, you forget that our president is a businessman. And in business, because I do have a master's in business, there's a saying that I always have. It's called under promise and over deliver. So what our president is doing by saying that this could last several weeks is he is under promising on the time frame. He is basically placing it farther out than what he thinks is going to be and telling us what that is, so that when it does happen to be shorter than that, he looks like a fucking genius because he under promised and over delivered. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple videos that show you the might of our military, and then we're going to talk about this Texas primary race that has black folk up in arms. Unless, I think, because Max is so tired, that we're actually going to go to these liberals that are complaining about the Jasmine Crockett race. And basically what they're doing is the liberal voters are doing what the Republicans want them to do in the first place. Okay?
So
they're basically about to boycott. They're about to boycott the damn thing.
But here's the funny thing, right? So Jasmine Crockett claiming the Republicans cheated,
and
the Democratic yeah. Now I'm going to say it again, people, if it sounds completely far-fetched and idiotic. She's claiming in the Democratic primary that the Republicans cheated in order for her to lose.
And you know what's even more terrible sounding than that is the fact that some of her base actually believes what she's saying. That's how stupid people are, folks.
That's how stupid niggas are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's how stupid these Negroes are. I'm like, you can't be serious. I literally had one of the people who was friends with me on Facebook literally said that, oh yeah, the Republicans cheated, and I'm like, it's a Democratic primary.
Exactly.
Well, the Republicans cheated. I was like, the Republicans have nothing to do. I was like, the Republicans was rooting for Jasmine Crockett. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the Republicans would do that. I'm like, because she's a weak candidate.
Mm-hmm.
There's the guy told me that no, I'm wrong. She's not a weak candidate, and I was like, okay. I see that you're currently live right now. In 10 seconds, start telling me her favorite policy. Couldn't name one.
Of
Couldn't
course you
name
couldn't.
one.
Of course you couldn't.
Couldn't name one
Of course.
effing flipping policy.
Of course.
But she's a good candidate. Yeah, okay. But you
So
don't know one of her policies. Can't
it's
make this
crazy.
shit up.
It's crazy. That's how they live though. That's how they live though, man. So without further ado, man, we're gonna get to this from Brandon Lehman talking about Jasmine Crockett. Let's go.
Kicked out of politics forever.
Forever. Forever. Forever.
She has been voted off the island. She will not be the next American Idol. Make sure you smash the like button. This is epic news and a marvelous day for America. It almost feels like a holiday. But Jasmine Crockett didn't just lose because she's unlikable, ghetto, classless, obnoxious, and has no policy other than Donald Trump is bad and America is racist. Jasmine also lost because the Democrat Party absolutely backstabbed her. As always, like the video.
They really did, folks. And what he's referring to is Tyrico was a guy that only his base pretty much knew for the most part. As you all know from your fatigue from her, we knew who Jasmine Crockett was. Jasmine been everywhere. She been on Got Done Kimmel. She been on CNN. She been on BS Now. She been on the Breakfast Club. She been everywhere. Known.
I'm picking cotton.
And that's the crazy part. That we'll talk about that. But she been everywhere. So Tyrico gets on Stephen Colbert right before the primaries. Who you think put him on there? Who you think let him on there? And he got a $2.5 million boost in freaking campaign donations right after the fucking show. And I told people this before. I said, y'all niggas are gonna get tired of the Democratic Party using you as a fucking megahorn to be loud and obnoxious and gain all types of damn popularity and clicks and views for them. Because you got to think about it like this. Because of social media, everything's about clicks and views now. Everything. Real life has become social media. Or some type of podcast or some type of viral moment. So the Democratic Party uses you for all these viral moments. You're a megahorn. You're pushing their agenda. And then they shit all over you just like they did Jasmine Crockett. Set her up to get beat down. Same thing can be said for Letitia James. Same thing can be said for Hakeem Jeffries. Same thing can be said for Al Green. They'll use you for these moments. And as soon as you are of no use to them, it is a wrap. Al Green has to do a runoff, but I doubt he'll be back too. Al Green about to be out.
Man, if they vote Al Green back in, bro, I'll be fucking disappointed.
Well,
I'll
I
be
know
so
that,
goddamn disappointed.
and we got some casualties on the Republican side that should happen. That eye patch ass nigga, he gone. He is gone.
Okay.
He gone.
He used to see I used to like him. Then he slowly showed me. I'm like, oh, you kind of a little bit of you kind of a little bit of a motherfucking snake. No, he's a little bit of a backstabber.
Gone. Gone. So you have that. So what Max mentioned, talking about she's crying, cheating from the Republicans in a Democratic primary. That's ridiculous. But what really did her in is she's so fucking racist that she actually got rid of a voter block before she actually needed them.
One of the biggest voters.
One of the biggest voting blocks. Because she was going to need these people to win the general. But she didn't even win the primary because she basically sat there and told people in a roundabout way, niggas ain't picking no cotton and getting out here in these fields. That's the job for the Latinos. She don't understand. She pissed all in Latinos' faces when she said that shit.
I was so surprised when she said that. I was
God.
I was like, oh, you're trying to lose. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think we've seen the last of this woman. She's gonna be on The View, or she'll have her own show, or she'll be on a podcast.
She's not.
You think you ain't gonna see her?
This will be the last. This will be the last you will see of Jasmine Crockett.
I hope.
The reason why I say that is that she is such a unlikable. She's quite unlikable, but people don't like. She's not really likable. Only people that like Jasmine Crockett are the ones who
don't even like her.
Like, only people who like Jasmine Crockett are the niggas and the white people who get entertained by niggas being niggas.
Oh yeah. But let's go into this real quick.
And subscribe to the channel. You guys are gonna love this one. But let's start.
So that's my news. Is that we're not gonna have election results tonight, in my opinion, based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so
y'all hear that, guys? A Democratic primary, and she's already, because she knows she'll never have another chance in politics if she go after the people that really fucked with her. She knows she can't name no Democrats.
She's never in the history of the United States ever again in our history she will ever get a political position because of the fact that she ruined it for herself. Like, okay, so if it was closer, like, because she lost by 13%, if I remember correctly.
Somewhere around double digits.
Yeah, she lost by double digits. So if it was closer, then I could be like, you know what? I could see her, having a shot, but she got blown out. Double digits in politics is called being blown out.
Well, what I was trying to bring a point is that she doesn't think that she is not going to ever have another damn shot at politics. So that's why she is not going to name the people that's really responsible for her ass getting beat, which is her own fucking party, which goddamn had Talrico all on national television the other day, right ahead of the daggum election. She is not going to concede to politics at all and say, you know what, I never have another day shot at politics, which is why she ain't named the Democrats. She had to go with the Republicans. She had to blame it on somebody that she could instead of Democrats, because she would have said something about the Democrats, nigga, she like I said, you believe in yourself more than anybody else, and she believes that she would have another shot at politics. Unfortunately, we know that she will never have another shot.
She's trying to save face.
She trying to save
face. That's why. Because, but let's just be honest. The reason why she lost is because Hispanics didn't vote for her, and black people didn't show up for her either.
Yep, black folk didn't show up for her. Her own daggum people didn't show up for her. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And she put her foot in her mouth. She did it to herself.
They specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why. So, I want you to enjoy yourselves, but I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results, and I fully anticipate it won't be until tomorrow.
Have y'all noticed lately that the candidates that are basically being big ass kids when they lose have been women? Think about it now. All of y'all that are old enough, I say millennial, I would say Max's age and older. If y'all remember Hillary when she ran and lost, what did she do? She took her ass home. Mm-hmm. She didn't concede that night. Okay. What happened when fucking Gore lost? What happened when fucking anybody, Mitt Romney, any of them jokers lost? They conceded. Dudes concede. They don't be like a big ass baby and take their ball and go home. Fucking Kamala Harris did the same fucking thing too. Took her ball and went the fuck home. Jasmine Crockett ain't gonna stay there till the results in. Guess what? She took her ball and went the fuck home.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
So, I love y'all too.
I find it hilarious how Jasmine... What's that? Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news. Brand new footage from Jasmine Crockett at her...
Oh, I wonder if this is the one where they caught her crying. Dude, have you seen the clip of her crying? Dragon, have you seen that shit?
There's a clip of her crying?
Yes! Ain't no politic I ever seen no politician cry after a loss. This bitch was crying, dog. Oh, I gotta find it.
Job. Let's take a look.
Oh, they wrong for this look.
Bruh.
Let her breathe. She deserves all of the ridicule.
I gotta find this clip.
Loud ghetto superstar Jasmine Crockett as quiet and low energy as she was addressing that crowd, saying she was about to go home for the night. And just for context, Jasmine Crockett's seat in the House got redrawn out of existence when Texas changed their maps. So in a desperate attention-seeking last-ditch effort to remain relevant, Jasmine had the brilliant idea of running for Texas Senate. Because Jasmine Crockett's highly incompetent, she has no accomplishments or achievements of note, so she couldn't just let her grift of using her platform in Congress to become a celebrity just slip through her fingers. Now, I always predicted Jasmine Crockett was going to lose because obviously it's Texas. But even I didn't think she would get humiliated in her own primary by some...
Thank you to all the Texans, including Dragon out there, for doing what you were supposed to do, baby.
No-name Texas state representative. But there were some voting irregularities in Jasmine's home base of Dallas, Texas yesterday, and she was absolutely furious. Let's take a look.
This stems from some new rules that are restricting where people are allowed to vote, and so many people are showing up at polling sites where they have voted at for years only to be redirected to a different site. And I just want to give you a look here. You can see we're going to stay as far back as we're required to, but you see that line there before people get into the door, and the county tells me that there are actually people with tablets that are checking people's addresses and redirecting them if they are not allowed to vote at this location. And as of this morning, earlier this morning, when I spoke with one of the judges who was in there on the Democratic side, he said around just under half of Democratic voters were being sent to different polling sites. And Representative Jasmine Crockett was here just a short while ago and was asked about that.
And once again, folks, there's nothing illegal about that. Remember, Texas got redrawn. So in all actuality, if you look at the technicalities behind it, the people that were Democrats that were being redirected, them dumbasses didn't check to see where their new polling place was. And you've seen it all over the news about the new districts being damn written now. And you didn't check to see where the fuck your deck. Look, every time I voted, I have checked to see where my polling place is. Every time.
Yeah,
I've never, ever gone to a polling place and been told this ain't your polling place. except for one time. And you know what that time was, people? It was a time when I did not hadn't voted for a while, not because it wasn't an election, just because it's been a while, and I changed addresses. And so when I went to the polling place I was used to, notice she said people have been polling and they've been coming here for years. But once again, didn't they redraw the maps, folks? It's called common fucking sense. They did not check to see where their polling place was. So I want to hear all this bullshit. People are too much. They too entitled. We too big. We big ass kids in this country. We take everything for fucking granted. Everything. You are a fucking adult. Check where your polling place is. They're gonna complain about that shit. Come on, man.
That's too hard. But that is too hard.
No, you ought to do Cleveland Suns voice on that. That sounds better. Oh, that's too hard, mister.
No, hold on. Well, Sean, I want you to know that is a little bit too hard to figure out. How am I supposed to learn where my voting spot is at? I'm
That's
Cleveland Brown Jr.
Yes, sir, folks. Folks, is some big ass kids out here. Sat there all the freaking whole summer. They talk about redrawing districts, and your ass didn't check. Hell, I'm about to check and see if I got to go use my passport and go re-register before Georgia. Because I got common sense. And they ain't even passed the SAFE Act yet. They ain't even passed it yet. And I'm still going to go check.
That, and I want to play some of what she had to say about what she's seen going on today with regard to people being redirected to different polling sites.
You know, it's the confusion, it's the games. It is so sad that the Republicans don't know how to win fair and square. The only thing they know how to do is cheat. It is not lost on me that when Donald Trump decided to go after congressional districts, he started in the state of Texas. It's not lost on me that when the Republicans decided that there was one particular county that they specifically wanted to target out of the large counties, it just happened to be my home county.
By the way, folks, the way the districts were drawn were racist because they had all the they had the voting districts drawn up by race, basically. That's about as simple as you can do it. You're not supposed to do that. That's unconstitutional. So they redrew the maps.
I am here to tell the Republicans they can try all the dirty tricks that they want to try. We are going to win. We are going to.
Hey, knowing the results and seeing her as confident as a male peacock. New in the fucking barnyard with his chest out. Seeing her walk around like a male peacock is fucking hilarious, dude. It is hilarious to me.
Beat them. We're going to beat them as it relates to this primary. We are going to beat them with their dirty tricks in November.
I love how Democrats criticize any.
Oh, and Talrico's finna lose extremely bad. This dude, they already got a fucking ad out. This dude is in the ad or either in the thing talking about transgenders need what was it? Birth control? Not birth control.
Yeah.
Abortion. Trans people need abortion something like trans women.
Yeah. So
like what it's the fuck?
It's like I'm telling every Democrat, all the people you have running are fucking. They basically they're not. The new shit is they're trying to do is coming off as moderate, but they're not. Like look at the governor of Virginia.
Look at Spanberger. Yeah, Spanberger came off as moderate. As soon as she got in office, she came up with 6 or 7 new taxes. People ain't even never heard of before. One of them is a what was one of them taxes called? One of them is a they have the capital gains tax.
Sean, you're actually wrong, Sean. She came up with 18. She came
18,
up with
my bad.
18 different taxes. Put
18.
some respect on her name, bro.
18. Y'all want to hear some of this bullshit? You want to talk about some? Look here, y'all. Y'all don't understand. This shit runs deep. Watch this shit.
She ran on affordability too, guys.
Ran on affordability. No, it says 50 new tax proposals by Virginia.
But
You
only
have a
18
10.
is.
I'm not going to read all of these. You have an introduction of a 10% top income tax. Anybody making over $1 million. Then you have a consideration of alternative proposal to establish new additional higher income tax brackets at 8% and 10%. So not only is she going to goddamn tax the top income bracket, she's trying to come up with another one that's 2 additional higher income tax brackets. So 3 higher income tax brackets. Then a 3.8% net investment income tax, that is the capital gains. Then you had an enactment of a corporate welfare tax, targeting corporations receiving substantial public economic incentives. So now, as a company, you're like, okay, I don't want the public economic incentives. Okay, she got something for your ass on that. She got a service and consumption tax. Then she got then she beat your ass over the head with a legislation aims to broaden the sales tax to encompass numerous previously exempted services that include digital services.
You want to hear
We're
something
talking
funny?
about a streaming. There is a streaming tax. So if you got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. So basically, if you live in Virginia, go get fucking go back and get Comcast, Xfinity, what's the other one? You better drop your Netflix, your Hulu, and your Amazon Prime. All that shit. It's even taxing electronic books. So bitches, you can't even buy a goddamn ebook, bitch.
That's why I moved to Florida.
Personal care services, taxation of haircuts, dog walking, and pet grooming services.
Fuck, I gotta
Bitch, you
get my new
can't go get a
license.
haircut. Not listen. First of all, these motherfucking barbers is taxing out the ass nowadays. Have you been and got a cut lately?
Yeah, I
Last
have.
time I got a cut was 2018, dude. No, I went and got a shape up. A shape up
Well,
in
you wanna know
2021. I paid $35 for a shape up, nigga.
well, here's the reason why that I don't have a problem that the barbers raise their prices is because their prices have gone raised. Their prices are up too.
Of course. I mean, it's
Is
understandable, of course.
and
But they
so
finna
like
tax that shit.
like $20, like ain't $20 how it used to be. Like because I remember it used to be what $5 for a shape up, $10 for a cut.
Dude, this shit is crazy, dude. So basically, you get your pet groom tax. I don't know how
Yep.
the hell they gonna if you get somebody to walk your dog, tax. Go get a haircut, tax. Home repairs, tax. Automotive repairs, tax. Hey, it's gonna be some folk boy with some cars. It's gonna. Hey, if I was you, in the next 4 years, 4 to 5 years, if you go buy a used car, don't get no used car. That check the Carfax, check the goddamn VIN number. If that bitch come from Virginia, you better not buy that bitch. You better
You
not buy
know,
that bitch, cause they
what's
taxing
about to happen,
automotive
right?
repairs. What?
They about to. What's going to happen is they're literally about to lose upper middle. They're about to lose a bunch of if they
Upper,
could go to
upper,
an
upper middle class, lower, high, like rich folk
no
and upper middle
if
class.
they can move to another state and still do their job, what's about to happen to Virginia is they're about to lose. Well, the people over in the mountain areas they ain't going nowhere. But what's going to happen is they're going to raise the price of a lot of shit, So you about to see inflation. Any products coming from Virginia about to happen. You about to see inflation in Virginia. It's about to be funny.
Taxation of gym memberships.
Yeah. I told
Taxation
my
of
friend.
rental storage facilities.
I told my friend. At least if you vote against her, at least you won't feel bad about it.
Dude, you can't even have a mental health issue in Virginia, bro. They taxing counseling services, nigga.
I told her, "Do you realize you're voting for a fucking far left progressive, right?" No, she's running on a moderate. I was like, that bitch has never been moderate. I was like, look at her record.
This list is too fucking long. I'm gonna go to a couple others, then we're gonna go back to the video. Dude,
Remember,
huh?
Virginia. Here's the thing about her. Virginia deserve every fucking thing they get. They deserve, especially you black niggas.
Oh yeah, y'all deserve that shit.
Like, and that's why I told my homegirl, I was like, "Yo, I don't feel sorry for you. You chose to vote for the white woman over the black woman who actually was answering y'all fucking questions." There was 5 questions that were pretty important that the governor of Virginia now did not answer. And you know who's about to suffer? Y'all niggas are. Y'all niggas deserve every bit. In NCAA, the NCAACP, y'all can never call nobody a goddamn coon, sellout, or fade, because if I'm a sellout, what the fuck y'all are?
NCAA, yeah, NAACP, yep. Hey, they even got a tax on delivery fees, y'all. So all y'all Uber drivers and Lyft drivers that do Uber Eats and DoorDash and your regular shit, y'all gonna be broke as fuck. You know why? Folk gonna stop using that shit. They putting a charge of 20-cent tax on every delivery. Amazon, Uber Eats, DoorDash, FedEx, UPS. Rideshare tax. 4.3% tax imposed on rideshare trips, Ubers and Lyfts, with an additional surcharge of 1.9% on trips originating in Northern Virginia. Now, y'all crazy this shit is? Authorization to augment sales taxes within designated transportation districts and to an increase from 0.385 to 0.615% in Northern Virginia. What did Northern Virginia do to her ass?
Sounds like music to my ears, brother. Sounds like music to my ears.
Gun and ammunition tax. Here's what's gonna fuck them up more than anything else. I'm sorry. Before that, right? Before I mention that, your ass is gonna get taxed unless it says an electric equipment tax, a new personal property tax targeting specific electric landscaping tools, such as an electric leaf blower and other electrical powered gardening equipment. Now, mind you, isn't she a Democrat? What y'all talk about this green leaf, new Green Deal shit? So you know all your landscapers are going to just go to gas powered, right?
There's a gas power. There's a gas power. Yeah, there's a gas power tax.
Oh, so basically she said all y'all small business owners. So basically, here's the thing. She basically told all small business owners of landscaping, there's probably other shit too, because if you think about it, a lot of this other shit could be small businesses that's getting fucked up on it too now. Like the whole you got businesses like barbershops that stream Netflix and shit. They gonna get taxed on that shit. Then you got to get taxed on the haircuts. Then you got vehicle maintenance. So vehicle maintenance, you can have a small restaurant that's got a vehicle for the restaurant. They taxing fucking vehicle maintenance.
No, it's a tax write-off. All of it's a tax write-off.
Yeah, probably.
It's all the tax write-off. What's going to happen is they're literally just about to figure out another loophole on how to evade most of those taxes.
And they got a
That's
gun and
basic.
ammo tax, and they got a large corporation tax. So, folks, that's about all the taxes on Abigail. Abigail's a witch.
Yeah.
That's
Well, she lied, and she said she was going to make she's affordability. You know,
Mondami lied too. Mondami said he wasn't gonna raise the property tax, and he trying to do that shit right now.
but here's the funny part about it. The property tax is a tax on the middle class. And how much she's talking about raising the property taxes again?
I can't remember, but I know I know they pissed off in New York. They
I
pissed
know
off
in
in New York.
I know in Chicago, I think they what they try to raise it up to
He
10%.
can't do. He's been trying to raise the property tax. He can't do it. They won't let him do it. So he's bitching, mine. He's bitching and complaining and moaning and shit.
Well, the reason why they ain't gonna allow him to do that shit, bro, like nigga, you're talking about. Let's just say you raise your property tax in New York. You're guaranteed in New York a Republican is going to win next time.
Oh yeah, probably governor too. Shit, they ain't happy with Hochul. Kathy
Yeah.
Hochul, they not happy with her ass. They might, I'm gonna tell you right now. Chicago probably gonna flip red. Not the whole state of Illinois is, but Chicago probably gonna flip red. Philadelphia is probably gonna flip red, but not the whole state of Pennsylvania.
Now, Philadelphia, well, for
They
me,
doing
it
some
would
shit up
have to
there
be
too.
in order for those cities to flip red, it has to be a real likable person. They have to be a
Well,
real likable person. They have
and
to be
I
extreme.
bet you Virginia gonna be red next time unless they have a real moderate Democrat run next time.
No, they're
Them
gonna
people
be
might.
red. But Virginia's gonna be red. It's gone. Virginia is one of these states that's always flipping
Flipping
back and
back and
forth.
forth. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I
wonder.
remember
I
the
wonder if
time.
I wonder if Winsom's going to run again next time it's time to run. She probably won't.
Um,
I
I
don't
can
think she
see
will.
I can see Winston winning. It, I can
She's
see
going to have
her
to run right
winning.
after this. She's going to have to run
It's
right after this.
just only way she could win is black people wake the fuck up.
Well, I hope they will all these damn taxes. When they damn do these taxes, they gonna wake up.
Bruh, but still, black people won't wake.
No, I ain't gonna. Not all of them. I say a
It's
good
going to
chunk will.
be. It has to be something on like I don't know, like something out of a fucking like something out of it got to be a miracle, bruh. It got to be something on biblical proportions in order black people to stop voting red. I'm
Right.
sorry, in order for black people to stop voting blue, because of the fact that black folks, I don't know. This is something that's going to be studied
They
in
don't read, dude. They don't fucking read, dude.
it's going to be something that's going to be studied in history in historic books or something, bro. But like history, one day history is going to tell you that the downfall of black people weren't the white man; it was their own. It was them own self, and I don't know what's going to take because the same person who's crying and complaining about all these new taxes going in, I'm like, can you really get mad? You voted for this. This is what you wanted. She said she was running as a moderate, and I was just like, what research did you do on her? Did you do any research on her at all? The answer is no.
At all.
That was the answer. It was no. Did no fucking research at all. And you get mad when you find out the person is a far left extremist? Huh. It makes sense. But yeah, what else you got, brother?
All right, we're about to I'm about to play a little bit more of this, and then we're gonna go to Jasmine Crockett. Something you ain't seen probably ain't never seen politician do ever, and that's fucking cry on camera. God dang it.
Any Republican who dares question the legitimacy and authenticity of the 2020 elections. But
we're getting confirmation on that, but right now it looks like voting for Democrats in Dallas County extended until 9 p.m. Republicans
7 p.m.
The cutoff is still 7 p.m. as far as we know.
Yeah, we'll keep
Now, apparently this polling place problem only occurred in Jasmine Crockett's stronghold of Dallas and not her opponent's stronghold of Austin. But we'll touch on the Democrat backstabbing a little bit later. Here's what we got from Jasmine Crockett after her request to extend the polls was granted.
Dallas County, stay in line. The polls are open till 9.
Trust me, Jasmine, we're all fine. Now, please go home and cry and whine. I'm binary to push the LGBTQ agenda in conjunction with Christianity.
Is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
This dude got up there and said God is non-binary. And y'all voted for this motherfucker.
Our southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front.
So yeah, James Tallarico is another raging radical leftist, but he's more polished, he's cleaner, he's quiet. His image is the pastor's son. He's trying to be the bridge between evangelical Texans and crazy radical LGBTQ Texans. I've said this before, but the same Democrats who have spent the last 60 years lamenting religion as archaic and primitive are seeing the massive resurgence of Christianity in the United States and are pretending that it's now compatible with their agenda because they believe Christianity supports transgenderism, open borders, and socialism. But his words also expose the pure narcissism of the transgender movement. He said, God is non-binary. God is an omnipotent being that is not constrained by the physical form of male or female. He is neither. And that explains the core philosophical belief of people in the transgender movement. They are trying to play God. They believe they are special, unique, nebulous, omnipotent beings that can't be constrained by the physical reality like the rest of us. They believe they can move fluidly and freely between either genders, both genders, or neither genders. They chop themselves up, sterilize themselves, take cross-sex hormones, distort their own reality because they think they're the masters of the universe. And that's why they demand that we submit to their ideology, because they believe they are more evolved, more enlightened superhumans walking amongst the rest of us regular people. But I want to show you this last clip from CNN because as wonderful as it is that Jasmine Crockett lost, there's a bigger trend emerging in Texas that we should all be slightly concerned about.
It's that more people voted in the Democratic primary than the Republican primary. Look at this. Share of Texas midterm primary ballots. Look at this. The 2000s average. If you look at the 2000s, on average, you see this: Republicans outvote Democrats. More people choose the Republican ballot than the Democratic ballot in midterm primaries by 60% to 40%, a margin of 3-2. But look so far, Democrats, more people are actually choosing the Democratic ballot. This is extremely, extremely unusual, 51% to 49%. And so far, there have actually been more of the Republican ballots estimated to be counted than Democrats. So this margin may climb ever higher. And I will note that this is the first time Democrats outvoted Republicans in a midterm primary season in Texas since 2002. This is, I think, the biggest change that we have seen in the national picture, which was all along we thought that the Democrats would win back the House of Representatives. That was the most likely possibility. But at this point, look at this. Look at the change in odds from a year ago, the chance of winning the Senate. Republicans had an...
And that's because Texas is known for them not showing up in elections, boy. I don't know what it is.
Hold on. Here's the reason why I don't put a lot into it. You want to know why?
These polls don't mean shit.
No, it's because I believe a lot of Republicans voted for Jasmine Crockett.
You think so?
I know so.
They said, fuck it, we want to see her go against whoever we're going to be for Republican.
Well, it's the fact that Jasmine Crockett was a complete easier opponent to win.
Oh yeah, she was easy to win against. Yeah.
Like, and so there was like, so I know Republicans voted for Jasmine Crockett to boost her numbers and shit. Because let's just be real, Jasmine Crockett, if it showed she had a 40% chance to win in the primary, she would have shown those numbers from the beginning.
I got you.
So a lot of Republicans voted for Jasmine Crockett because of the fact that they all know she was going to be easier opponent. Like the reason why Tellerico is a more challenging person is because he's more polished. He's not playing racial politics.
No, he isn't.
He's actually, like, you actually listen to him, he sounds pretty good. Go after his record. Once you go after his record, like, so do you believe boys and girls should be in the same sports? Like, do you believe that? Well, why did you say this just a year ago? Oh, so you changed your mind that quick? Yeah, Tellerico. Yeah, he's just polished. He reminds me of white Obama.
81% chance a year ago. Look at this. It is falling through the floor. Now it's just a 56% chance. Democrats' chances way up to a 44% chance. There's a real fight on their hands Republicans have, not just for the House, which they're likely to lose, but for the Senate as well.
All right, so now, guys, I have got to show you this shit. When you talk about fucking just being, and of course it has to be Brandon Jamal. Once again, Brandon Jamal swinging for the fences, y'all. This dude here, and this, you know the funniest thing about this shit? His evil laugh, dog. This dude has perfected his evil laugh, man. And when I tell you this thing here is so fucking funny, you ready for this, Max?
Play it.
Are you ready? Hey, Dragon, you there? I don't know. He may not be there. Check this out, man.
You know what? I gotta get through this.
This is old.
You know what? I gotta get through this.
When I tell you I looked at this shit so many times. I looked at that shit several times, dog. I had to, man. It gave me such joy in my heart, man. So much joy in my heart.
You hate black women.
No, I hate bitches, dude.
That's what.
It's so much shit going on, man. It's so much shit going on. Okay, so also, I gotta show you how. Now they're saying because the Democratic Party, you can't make this shit up, folks. The Republicans are basically getting the Senate race in Texas about to be handed to them, and I'm gonna tell you why. These idiots on the left. No, let me rephrase that. These niggas on the left decided that they are going to boycott the general election and not vote. Are you freaking kidding me? Look at this stuff, man. And this is from black conservative perspective. First of all, look at this idiot here. Talk about him.
That are in Miami, I will vote for Donald Trump's. They are very soft targets for misinformation. A lot of Latino and Hispanic communities are, to be frank.
You see how racist this is? So now she basically saying that Latinos are stupid as fuck and don't have no critical thinking skills. That's basically what she's saying.
And especially if you're from Cuba. Cubans hear socialism, communism, and as long as the Republicans use those words to describe democratic policies, they will vote Republican every time, even if they're voting for themselves to be put out of America. They will do it every time. And so that's something that it requires a level of sophistication.
Jamel Hill is trying to do like Stephen A. and she can't. She can't. She just can't. She really needs to stop.
To understand. And one of the main platforms for the disinformation is Univision. And many of the Spanish language newspapers, many of them are owned by conservative, right-leaning people. And so they constantly are a group that is filtered full of misinformation.
Univision?
Vote in
Really?
Texas. That's really what.
Yeah, she said that shit.
I guess you don't understand that most, it doesn't even fucking matter.
She don't understand most Latinos are conservative anyway. She don't understand.
Yeah.
Like I said, dude, she can't do it. She's trying to be like Stephen A. She's trying to, because her show is called Sports Sports and Politics. She trying.
But propelled James Tallarico over Jasmine Crockett. And Jasmine Crockett is said to likely, this will likely be the end of her political career as we know it. She had to not run in the primary for her House seat. So I imagine you'll see her leftist nonsense all over the news going forward, including her election denialism here. But that Latino vote you see in Texas is going to be a key.
Jasmine Crockett can only blame herself for not winning. When you play the race card over and over and over, it may work for some time. It worked in the Obama era. It worked under Biden. It's not going to work anymore because America in general and black people are tired of the race card. She could have won if she had other voting blocks voting for her. Let's say white people.
So we got to follow up on the fallout that is currently happening over Jasmine Crockett losing the Texas Senate primary to James Tallarico. Now, there's a whole lot of infighting going on within Democrat Party circles, okay? The so-called 92%, aka black women, right, who, for whatever reason, think it's a good thing that 92% of them all vote the same way, right? But they're upset, right? The black bourgeoisie, they are pissed off. In fact, they are threatening to boycott the Democrat primary. They're saying, hey, you know what? We're not going to vote for the white man, James Tallarico, because he's racist, right? They ran a racist campaign. Voters are racist. They also don't like the fact that Latinos betrayed Jasmine Crockett, that they decided that they're not going to show up for Jasmine Crockett. And I want you guys to remember how upset these people got when Kamala Harris lost and they saw that a bunch of Latino men did not vote for Kamala Harris, right? They were really mad about that. They were really upset about that. So, yeah, I mean, that's the same type of energy that they're on right now for Jasmine Crockett, because this is the second time that they feel as if Latinos have betrayed the so-called black and brown coalition, which is leading to a lot of them calling for a boycott, saying, hey, we're not going to show up and support James Tallarico because of Jasmine Crockett not getting the support that they...
Watch this next dude.
Hey, Sean, your background. Your TV.
My bad.
Just turn off the TV.
Felt like Jasmine Crockett was entitled to. Take a look.
James Tallarico winning over Jasmine Crockett is a good and valid reason why we should stop saying black and brown.
This dude here, I done seen him plenty of times. He's about as bait as you can get. And he usually has a very leftist view on a lot of shit. When I tell you this dude's about as tough as a wet paper bag, I ain't playing.
We not brothers and sisters.
He like Conscious Lee, bro. He about as tough. He about as tough as wet cotton. He about as tough as wet cotton, dog.
Tough as a wet paper bag.
Yeah.
I thought about that shit. I'm like, damn, that shit solved, boy.
Boy, he wouldn't bust a grape if it was already bust.
Okay, they're not our true allies. Black people, we don't have any true allies. Okay, so all that black and brown unity and all that stuff, stop that, bro. Because they gonna do what they do.
No, you stop. I can't stand niggas that want to sit here and say that we all alone in the world and we ain't got no allies. How the fuck you think the Underground Railroad survived, dude? They had white abolitionists too.
What
about them 600? What about them thousands and thousands of goddamn soldiers that died in the Civil War? And if you want to talk about currently, let's talk about currently. Who would want to ally up with somebody that killed themselves more than any other fucking race in this fucking country? Don't sit there and say we don't have no allies. I went to a high school, bro, predominantly white. I did not experience any racism from anybody in high school.
Sell out.
Yeah, I'm a coon. I told somebody the other day, they said, "You a coon." I said, "You can call me a coon. That's fine. Matter of fact, okay, cool. I'm a coon. I sure am." But I said it's better than being a plantation-minded, sheep-ass field nigga or house nigga. I told him that.
Don't you talk like that. The white man's
this is why we.
Don't you talk like that. The white man ain't gonna like that.
Boy, I told them all.
Just sit down, be quiet, and stop thinking that we should be kumbaya. Okay? Because they gonna show they behind every time. But yet y'all always getting up on here talking about, nah, we gotta come together as minority groups and we gotta stand strong. We black folks, we the only ones that be standing on business.
And this comment is exactly why we need to go back in the house and just not worry. If Ku Klux Karen and her family get dragged from here to Timbuktu by ICE, I really don't give an F. If your family is attacked, I don't care. If the entire government decides to take over Texas and beat the brakes off you and your family for even trying to protest,
bitch, you look Hispanic. They might pick your ass up. Anyway, this is what I don't understand. They don't understand. Every one of these Hispanics that came over the right way, they don't want to get skipped in line. They did it the proper way. And you're hearing this said by the son of an immigrant. Well, my dad did it right.
Well, it's a fact that me as an American citizen, say I want to bring my girl over, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to spend thousands of dollars, probably get an immigration lawyer, travel expenses, passports, yada, 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 immigration lawyers. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money. But here you have people who hasn't legally been here to where the Democrats have been giving them part of our social network, aka Section 8, aka food stamps, Medicare, many different social services that's supposed to be just for legal, that's supposed to be for citizens. My question is that if the illegals are on the same foot as a United States citizens, then what's the benefit of being a United States citizen? What's the benefit?
What's the benefit?
Like, what privilege do I have that no one else have? Because clearly that is not the fucking truth. Where all this shit y'all been telling us, well, we're the freest land on the country, yeah, but we're fucking highly taxed, and not only we highly taxed, but any motherfucker who come over here with a sob story, boo-hoo, lies and shit, and can become a citizen easily,
become a citizen
like that. But me, an American citizen, who my old lady is not a legal citizen, it's going to cost me thousands of dollars to bring her ass here. Does that sound fair? Fuck no.
Emperor Chang said link. I don't know link to what, Emperor Chang. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Anyway, let's go.
I don't care. Because how will you have the balls to
You
bring
want
up
to link
Kimla
to the
after
StreamYard? Hell no.
after we
I don't
know
even look like a
for
real
a
profile
fact
thing.
that James is unqualified? Yes, he worked in the House. Guess what? That's state legislature. Guess where Jasmine works? Federal! So while you continue with your third grade education and your memoss opinions about black folk and how qualified some people are versus others based on the color of their skin, you're just stupid. You're dumb. I can see why you probably from Texas, because y'all literally have some of the worst education in the country. But if it's not enough, you're going to say he ran a better campaign? Of what? Mediocrity? We literally have seen how he copy and pasted his entire campaign slogans, all his policies from other Democratic candidates in other states. Y'all just dumb. But that's exactly why it's not our job to save you. It's not our job to protest. It's not our job to do anything but let y'all slaughter each other while we smile and eat our popcorn.
I know a lot of people ain't gonna like what I'm about to say, but I don't care. After seeing that more than 25% of Latinos voted for James Tallarico over Jasmine Crockett, really put an itch in my stomach. They only voted for James Tallarico because he was a white Christian. Not that he was a better candidate, because he was a white Christian. I'm tired of these Latinos fucking us. So, I'm gonna advise all the Texas black people to fucking sit out the midterms and let them figure it out. We keep getting screwed. Our black women keep getting screwed. It was Stacey Abrams, Kamala Harris, now Jasmine Crockett. So, I thought about it overnight. I will not be supporting.
This is what I was talking about, folks, earlier when I said they're going to be boycotting the election.
James Tallarico at all. And you left this, who put that propaganda on Jasmine Crockett, we're about to do the same to y'all. This is our protest vote, y'all. So I advise, or I beg the people who follow me that's from Texas, don't get out and vote for James Tallarico. We got, at some point in time, y'all, we got to say, fuck this and have our own protest vote. This is our protest vote.
Was that the smoke alarm?
No, that we just ain't finna just be electing white Christians because they're white Christians. And not
it was.
I'm getting ate up on Reds a little bit because I said that, like, hey, yeah, there's a whole bunch of black folks in Texas who are not going to be fucking with James Tallarico and are not going to want to vote for him unless he makes repair and, like, actually does something to court the black vote. And I'm 1,000% in support of that. Absolutely. But I made the comparison. I was like, but now also I just want us to keep that same energy for the folks who did not vote for Kamala over Gaza. Like, if we can understand why you're not going to support James Tallarico, which again, totally fine, I'm there. You also have to then understand why people didn't support Kamala Harris over Gaza.
Septum ring theory.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Listen, black people, sometimes you just got to let the car hit the wall. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine complaining that you want more fighters in Congress. In Texas specifically, complaining that you need someone that's going to stand up for Texans, you need someone that's going to really take it to Republicans in the Congress, and then elect.
Remind you how stupid this chick sounds, right? Notice that the primary is for a Senate race, right?
Yeah.
Then why the hell is she talking about some fighters in Congress? See how stupid people are? Stupid.
The most milquetoast politician under the guise of electability. I would prefer white people to say, look, I like Jasmine Crockett, but I don't think people that look like me are going to vote for her, so I'm not going to vote for her either. Because that's a better start to finish thought than...
And all Democrats
always,
think in identity politics.
It's always about race, but I'm like, Like,
we don't function like
he
that on
had
this right
different.
side, baby.
He had different policies, though.
Yes, he did. And
Like,
he's
he
not
had fucking
divisive.
different policies. And he's a better talker.
And he's not divisive. And he's not racist.
Fucking...
And he didn't say a racist comment about Latinos that pretty much told them, look, ain't no need me voting for your ass either.
Electability. And look, I'm not going to say I was shocked by the results, especially all the things Texas tried to do for voter suppression. But between Latinos, which because their greatest feat in life is proximity to whiteness, and so there's just some Latino voters that are going to vote with Republicans or vote for white people.
You hear that shit?
Yeah.
You heard what that chick just said? Their greatest what now?
Either. Because that's a better start to finish thought than electability. And look, I'm not going to say I was shocked by the results, especially all the things Texas tried to do for voter suppression. But between Latinos, which because their greatest feat in life is proximity to whiteness, and so
their greatest feat in life is proximity to whiteness. You hear this shit?
Oh my God.
Like the Incas and the Mayas didn't motherfucking exist and build pyramids. Like the Aztecs didn't come up with the first fucking calendar, pretty much. Let's be real, folks.
This is the reason why this is the reason why I hate these new niggas.
Yeah, these new niggas here. This nigga nucleic acid that be going around, dog, that they have in their system.
It's these new niggas, bruh. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro. Just like somebody said, I saw somebody say this shit on the reel. America got more divisive under Obama than any other president. And it started in his second term.
It started in 2012.
Mm-hmm. Because black folks fell for the fucking gaslighting that we cannot be racist. And so what that did was it allowed, and I was one of them that believed that. You can't be racist, you don't have no power. First of all, you have to have power to use systemic racism. You need power. Yeah. But to be racist yourself individually or as a small group, like, oh, I don't know, the KKK. All you need is some prejudice. Little hate mixed in.
Yeah.
So black folk fell for the bullshit, thinking that they can't be racist. No, Charlotte, everybody can be racist. If you identify with a race, you can be racist. Dumbasses.
So there's just some Latino voters that are going to vote with Republicans or vote for white people to garner the praise of whiteness. And that's nothing we can do. That's not my ministry. It's not my people. So like that's something they got to deal with on their own. But it is funny, all the people screaming they want progress in Congress will vote.
And her saying ministry, she I know she thinks she's a Christian, and for a Christian to say this shit is ridiculous.
Vote for a moderate Democrat just as long as it's not a black woman, because it's not about qualifications.
Yeah, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, right? They're upset at the Latinos. They're mad at the Latinos because they said, hey, you know what? We're not going to support Jasmine Crockett, right? This is what they're mad about, right? They're saying that this is another betrayal, okay? They betrayed Kamala Harris. Now they betrayed Jasmine Crockett, right, in Texas. Now, the problem is that I don't think these people actually really understand that the reason why Latinos did support Jasmine Crockett is not because they're racist against Jasmine Crockett. It's because of Jasmine Crockett's own words, right? She just did a bad job appealing to that demographic, which is something that these people refuse to acknowledge because they really believe when it comes to their cultural Marxism, right? This is the difference between cultural Marxists and regular Marxists, right? Regular Marxists see the struggle, right? Their struggle as rich versus poor, right? It's about the rich versus the poor, okay? Cultural Marxists are, well, it's non-whites versus the whites. And no matter what,
I'm gonna fast forward this a little bit.
Are supposed to stick together against the whites, even if it's a white liberal.
Let's go to see what this lady says.
They kind of align in the fact that all Marxists, right, the cultural Marxists, value their things that she said about Latinos. So this Latino woman is going to explain that, and I think she does a great job at really laying out why is it that
Bush
Jasmine
got
Crockett
them
struggled with
DSLs.
Oh no. What do you mean? Jasmine not going to Congress for Texas? Oh, Crockett, a girl can only dream. Listen, Jasmine, what was that one quote that you said?
Oh, she's short as
Oh
shit.
yeah, we done picking cotton. You can't pay us enough to go find a plantation. Yeah, you remember that? I remember that. How could I forget? See, 6.5 million Hispanic voters in Texas, which is like the majority of the electoral vote here in the state. And you mean to tell me that you think that we're still picking cotton? Hell no, girl. Hell no. That's why you lost. Because you're fucking racist. I'm gonna tell you.
Yo, that's kind of wild though, right? She's right about that. Like her whole comment about, oh, we not picking cotton no more, so we should let in the Hispanics and the.
Oh, and by the way, if I'm not mistaken, they got a Hispanic woman that's running for Congress in Texas. She look like she gonna do good too.
The Latinos and the illegal immigrants. Yeah, it does kind of imply that that's a job for the Hispanics, right? That's a job for the Latinos, okay? To pick cotton. It's above us as black people to be doing that, right? To do the jobs that they do, right? That's actually a pretty good point that she's bringing up here.
Something real quick. If you would have pitched that in 2002, 2001, you probably could have gotten like a good drift. However, that was people in the past. Those kids that I grew up with that were chasing a field every summer, every spring with their parents, moving school to school because they had to go pick fruit with their parents, are now grown up. And guess what? Do you think that they're gonna go back to picking fields when they have a citizenship? No. As a matter of fact, they're not even looking to vote for blue people with blue policies that put their parents in fields. Fuck no. Some of them are real estate investors, business owners, they're passing down generational wealth, and you think that they're picking cotton. You out of your goddamn mind. I'm gonna remind you real quick, the majority of the Latino voters for Trump here in Texas live in the southern border. You know what happened in the southern border? No. Why? Because neither you nor Kamala have the balls to go down there. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Along the Texas border, poverty levels are sky high as it is. When you import a bunch of riffraff from third world countries and they end up in those southern border towns, they strain the resources for those people. Those people can't even survive. And then you're bringing in all this fucking riffraff with a CBP1 app Ticketmaster to the United States and you leave them there. That's why our governor had to ship all those fucking people out. And then y'all complain, oh, you're shipping on. Yeah, because you guys brought them here. You blue people brought them here to Texas and the southern towns were suffering. Not only that, but there was violence across the border in Tamaulipas, in Reynosa, all those cartels fighting to bring all those people over here. Why? Because they were profiting billions.
Man, I love her accent, dog, when she switched back and forth.
Of dollars. And your ass still thinks that we're picking cotton? Take that. No Congress for Jasmine. As a matter of fact, why don't you go run for Missouri? What did you do in Missouri that they don't want you to run for them? Oh, I know. Exactly, because people in Missouri see right through your bullshit, and so do we in Texas. Keeping Texas red.
Facts. Right?
What if her daddy is known in Missouri? This is just a guess by me. What if her daddy is known in Missouri and her fucking family is not got a positive light in the state of Missouri? Because her daddy is well known to be. He's got to be well known to afford 4 or 5 years at $25K a year secondary school, then another 4 years at $35K a year for high school, and then send your child to Rhodes College. She probably had a scholarship, but still, he's got to be well known.
I'm just saying, Jasmine Crockett did it to herself, right? Her divisive race politics. That was her downfall, right? The same thing that got her a bunch of popularity on the internet, okay, on X, on social media, on CNN. That chick, turns out, didn't play well when actually trying to run in a statewide election in a state like Texas, right? Even a state with a lot of Latino voters. Again, when you are, playing into racial divisiveness in such an overt way like Jasmine Crockett, it's not a good campaign strategy. Now, let's be real. James Tallarico is also a race hustler as well too. He's just he just muted his race hustle, right? But there's some tweets that are going viral of him saying all types of wild stuff. Like, for example, this tweet right here, back in 2021, there, but for the grace of God, go I. As a white man, I'm susceptible to the same radicalization. Thankfully, I was exposed to diversity at a young age and explicitly taught the values of equality, inclusion, and justice, but not every young white boy is so lucky. Yeah. And his advisor for his campaign, Olivia Juliana, she says, and speaking of representation, Texas is a majority minority state. We had one person of color running on the statewide ticket. That is a problem. The government should reflect the people. That being said, to the white men I'm hearing are going to run for Senate, don't. Yeah, funny how that works, right?
Dang, she said that, and that's his campaign advisor?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Funny.
Oh, she said that in 23. They bringing up old quotes and shit. She said that in 23. Which it ain't no different now than it was in 23. It's probably worse. And she may have a fucking point. But anyway, we're gonna finish this. We're gonna bring this off. Hey, Drag On, you ready, bro? Guess he's not. All right, that's okay. We're gonna go to the next one. Huh?
After this, I can go ahead and touch up on some stuff.
Are you like how much time you need?
I mean, everything of what I need is already in our chat.
So you ready to go now? Then
I can if you want me to. Or...
Yeah, you gonna go now, man, because putting that crypto at the end of the podcast ain't gonna do good, man. It's getting later and later. The only thing else we're gonna talk about is a little bit about this Iran war, and then we're gonna cut it off. So what do you want me to bring up?
Actually, you don't have to bring up anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and nail it here.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Just a second.
All right, so folks, we're gonna get started with crypto news in just a little bit with Crypto Dragon. But before that, while we wait for him to get everything situated, I saw this and it looked kind of funny. So even though it's a skit, and you know how these skits are, boy, look at here. Sometimes these skits, the acting is a little bit too good. Watch this. These women around here, but these women are freaking aggressive nowadays.
Oh shit! What are you doing? Who's that? Who's that? Move! Hold on. No, move. What are you talking about? Who is that? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nothing. Nothing. That's not what I asked. Babe, who's in here? What are you? Why are you being like that? Who's in here?
And these are small women. He's got the Western-minded feminists. Boy, these jokers is dangerous.
That's not what I asked. Who's in here?
Hi, babe.
Hi.
You're home early today.
Yeah, because I live here.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Huh?
Who's in there?
Nobody.
Who are you hiding?
Nobody, I swear.
Why are you acting weird?
Chill out, chill. Baby, no. Chill. Hey.
What is that?
What are you doing at home right now?
What is that?
Bro, what are you doing home right now, my girl?
What is that?
Here, bro. Just watch out.
Move out the door.
Oh, bro, I didn't know you were here, man.
Are you freaking serious? Who's back there?
No one's there. No one's there. Yeah.
What?
Hey, baby.
What'd you just say?
Missed you.
What did you just say?
I'm going to tell you this, though. Regardless if these guys have a history of cheating or whether they just know that they can irk their women, none of these women have been told by anybody in their family, don't you dare hit a man or don't you dare be aggressive towards a man. Ain't damn none of these motherfuckers ever heard that shit. Guarantee.
I heard you say hi. Who's in there?
Nobody's in here.
Why are you standing there like guarding the door then?
Oh, shit.
Where you at, Dragon? You good, man? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, folks. So without further ado, here comes crypto news.
All right. Well, this evening I want to go ahead and speak on the fact where Ripple adds Coinbase, BTC, ETH, XRP, and Solana futures to its $3 trillion clearing platform. So Ripple's $3 trillion clearing platform, Ripple Prime, now offers Coinbase crypto futures cleared by Nodal Clear. Contracts include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP futures available for trading around the clock for institutional clients. The expansion reflects the growing institutional demand for regulated crypto derivatives. Ripple, the blockchain firm closely associated with XRP Ledger Network, said Thursday that clients on its Ripple Prime platform can now trade the full range of crypto futures listed on Coinbase derivatives. The move gives institutions a new way to access regulated crypto derivatives within a market overseen by the Commodities Futures Trading Commissions, or the CFTC. Ripple said that its Prime platform cleared more than $3 trillion in trading volume in 2025. The offering includes Nano Bitcoin and Nano Ether futures, which are smaller contracts designed to lower the capital need to trade. Coinbase also listed futures tied to Solana and XRP in both standard and smaller sizes. The contracts are cleared through Nodal Clear, a U.S. clearinghouse. Crypto derivatives have become one of the fastest growing parts of the digital asset market. Many large trading firms prefer futures because they allow investors to gain exposure to price moves or hedge risk without holding the underlying tokens. Regulated future markets in the US have also drawn interest from institutions that need clear rules and centralized clearing. Even though that's funny because they're still the ones that's holding the underlying asset. They're just giving exposure to said asset. So anyway, let me finish up. Ripple has been on an acquisition spree over the past year, buying a slew of companies to complement the firm's digital assets offerings for institutions and enterprises. On top of Hidden Road, the company bought stablecoin payment firm Rail for $200 million and also acquired treasury technology provider G Treasury and crypto wallet infrastructure startup Palisade. The new service builds on Hidden Road, a futures commission merchant and prime broker Ripple acquired for last year for $1.25 billion. The firm now operates as Ripple Prime and offers brokerage, clearing, and financial services across several asset classes. So that's to give y'all some update in what's going on with Ripple and with Ripple Prime. What they've also linked over with Coinbase as well too, so that way you can understand what's happening. The other thing that I want to touch on real quick is that tokenized securities moves closer to mainstream finance after guidance. So innovation versus regulation is no longer the defining framework of the blockchain finance space. Instead, as of Thursday, March 5th, technical clarification issued jointly by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, or OCC, the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp, or FDIC, revealed the traditional tug of war between the digital asset sector and federal agencies in the United States may be entering a period of relative calm. The news status quo for cryptocurrency appears to be one of innovation and regulation, at least around the capital treatment of tokenized assets within financial markets. The federal banking agencies reaffirmed in their Thursday's guidance that the existing U.S. banking capital framework is fundamentally technology neutral. If a security is tokenized but confers the same legal rights as its conventional form, it should receive the same capital treatment that traditional security. An eligible tokenized security should be treated in the same manner as the non-tokenized form of the security that would be treated under the capital rule, according to a frequently asked question regarding the clarification. Similarly, a derivative that references as an eligible tokenized security should not be treated for that capital purpose as a derivative that references those non-tokenized forms of the security. The capital rule does not provide a different treatment based on the uses of permission or permissionless blockchains, the fact added. The message from regulators is that tokenization may change the plumbing of financial markets, but it does not change the underlying regulatory treatment of the asset themselves. For instance, for finance lenders exploring distributed ledger infrastructure, the clarification effectively removes a regulatory overhang that has slowed experimentation with tokenized bonds, equities, and other financial instruments. Technologies. Neutrality at the core of the framework, at the core of the announcement, is the simple principle that tokenization does not change the risk profile of a security for capital purposes. Banks holding tokenized securities must apply the same capital framework used for those conventional securities exposures. If a token represents a treasury bond, a corporate bond, or an equity share, the capital treatment follows the underlying asset, not the technology used to record ownership. Regulators also clarify that the rule applies regardless of the blockchain architecture involved, whether the token exists on a permission network operated by financial institutions or a permissionless public blockchain. Capital treatment remains the same. This distinction matters because much of the industry debate has focused on whether regulators should differentiate between enterprise blockchains, often seen as safer, more controllable, and open networks such as Ethereum. The agencies explicitly rejected that approach. Without formal clarification, many institutions have traditionally assumed a conservative stance and treat tokenized experiments as exploratory technology pilots rather than scalable financial products. By confirming that tokenization itself does not create capital advantages or penalties, regulators effectively place blockchain-based securities on the same regulatory footing as traditional instruments. And that's what's going to make it to where individuals are able to do, make trades and stuff the exact same way like motherfuckers on Wall Street. That's what I got for crypto news today, folks.
Alrighty, folks. Appreciate you there, Crypto Dragon, for the update, bruh. So now, folks, we're going to get back to talking about these bombs over Iran. The blast of freedom.
Not over Baghdad this time.
I know the Outcasts need to come up with another song, dude. All right, so my views on this whole thing. Like, I don't really like going to war. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But when you look at it and look at all the information that's been coming out, and some of it's been verified by Department of Defense. And I know we've had times in our past where our government said there's weapons of mass destruction, and it really isn't.
Well, they ain't doing that this time, which is I appreciate that.
They're not doing it. They're being pretty transparent this time. One reason that I've heard through, looking at reports is that they had enough enriched uranium, which you have to enrich uranium past 60% purity in order to make a nuclear bomb. And so they had enough uranium to make 10 nuclear bombs. They just don't have the thing to put it on to get it to where it needs to go. Okay? Which they could get China to make them a hypersonic or intercontinental ballistic missile. That's all it takes. What happened is when they bombed the first time and took out their nuclear... See, here's the thing. It's semantics in the words. They took out their ability to enrich uranium to the point it can be nuclear. But they did not take out all of their uranium because they had moved the uranium. Got me? So they can't make any more uranium be enriched past 60%. But they got enough for 10 bombs. And so as they was going through their negotiations, the Iranians pretty much told our president, we're not going to negotiate. So our president said, okay. You sure? All right.
It's like Fifth Element. Anybody want to negotiate?
Yeah, he opened the negotiation. So then basically after that, because you know the Democrats are going to lie to you, they actually informed the Gang of Eight. And if you guys don't know who the Gang of Eight is, it is made up of 8 bipartisan representatives on Capitol Hill. That one of them is definitely the minority leaders and, of course, the Speaker of the House. Those are a few of them. So Hakeem Jeffries knew about the fucking strike before it happened, by the way. Oh, and there's also a little small conspiracy theory going out that Ilhan Omar tipped him off before the shit happened, and she did it on social media. Because the strike happened on the 28th, and she had a tweet from the 24th trying to tip them off. And it was kind of encoded because it was like, she said basically that the Americans, like they did in Iraq, they attacked on Ramadan, and they're not supposed to do that. It's a holiday, and they made, you know what I'm saying, something like that. So we have that. So Hakeem is out there talking about some, you know, they're all talking this an illegal war when it really isn't. If you read Article 1 and Article 2 of the Constitution, Article 1 is, talks about how Congress is, of course, the person is supposed to, you're supposed to declare war, you're supposed to go through Congress. They have to vote on that shit. However, Article 2 goes into the power of the president being able to be the commander-in-chief, which he is. He can actually command strikes without Congress's approval. But he has to inform Congress within 48-hour window of the strike. From the time the strike goes, you got a 48-hour window. He informed them before, then he came and gave them the plan afterwards. He has up to 90 days in total to either get the boots off the ground or suspend all operations. He has 60 days to do it. Then there's an additional 30 days on top of that 60, which comes to a total of 90 that he has to have this shit resolved. He's already been saying on the news, it's going to take a month. A month. And I'm telling you, if you know any businessman, and if you know Donald Trump well enough to know, he's probably saying a month, but he may be talking about but it really may actually only be 2 weeks as he's, you know, evaluating the information that he's getting from the battlefield and from his generals. Okay? So that kind of keep y'all up to date of what, you know, let you know what's happened so far. So this is going into 7th day. It's about to be the 7th day. All of Iranians, pretty much all of the clerics have been taken out. God dang, you got many bunkers and ballistic missiles, launchers, all that shit been taken out. Their retaliation launches have gone down by 86%. All of their Navy is gone. You're going to see some of that stuff in here. You're going to see pictures and stuff. So here is Fox News. And this was posted on YouTube about 2 hours ago. Those are Tomahawk missiles, $3 to $4 million a piece. 3 million. 3 million, 6 million.
Operation Epic Fury is penetrating deep inside of Iran. As tonight, we're being told it'll be the biggest bombing campaign of the war. U.S. forces are
Oh, by the way, folks, if you're old enough to remember the shock and awe of the Iraq War, they said this first bombing run when Iran was double that.
exterminating what's left of the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. The crippling air campaigns left them bruised, battered, and confused because U.S. Growlers are in the air, jamming Iranian electronics. So the regime is flying blind. Their drones are falling out of the sky like dead pheasants. The Growlers are scrambling their signals, or they're being shattered by U.S. precision rockets. American warships haven't even used our lasers. We're saving them for the next phase. That's on top of the Air Force sinking Tehran's drone carrier last night in the Gulf. Their Navy has nearly nothing left in the water. U.S. Central Command confirming that we've sunk over 43 Iranian vessels. Here's one of their crown jewels. Watch.
This commissioning sends a clear message of military self-sufficiency.
But probably the most important capability of Shahid Bagheri is that it can remain at sea for an extended period of up to a year, a feature that makes it a game changer for the Iranian armed forces.
Now it's at the bottom of the Gulf. We've hit more than 3,000 targets, and the operation isn't even a week old. And you know what else just got hit? The Ayatollah's bunker. The IDF struck it this morning with 50 fighter jets. It's also home to Iran's primary command and control center.
So the internet says that Iran has 145 naval vessels. That includes speedboats, warships, all that stuff. And they've sunken 45. The ones that they've sunken pretty much have been the big warships. They've already talked about which. And it's not like Iran had a whole bunch of daggum aircraft carriers. They don't. Most countries in this world that do have an aircraft carrier got one. And the one that they use kind of like an aircraft carrier, that bitch got shot. So you can pretty much say all of their warships are gone. They probably got those speedboats left.
Well, it was. Most of the regime couldn't be there to see it. We killed 50 of their leaders in the first 50 seconds of the war. Just incredible stuff. And now Iran's underground missile cities are being turned into ash. 13 of them have been blown to rubble. Former CENTCOM commander and CIA director, General Petraeus, says we are in total control.
We want to bring in the big ones, the B-52s, the B-1 bombers, and they are flying now almost at will. I would argue that we have actually achieved air supremacy, not just air superiority.
As Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said, we're just getting started. The USS Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, just arrived. It was last seen sailing through the Suez Canal and should be in the theater momentarily. Right behind it, the USS Bainbridge, a guided missile destroyer with state-of-the-art Tomahawk capabilities, and the USS George H.W. Bush should be next to arrive. That put 3 carriers in the neighborhood.
3 carriers, folks. 3 carriers. And you know what's on carriers? Planes. Real quick, the Iranian armed forces have 67 active units in total when it comes to their destroyers. They only got 3 modern destroyers. Those are gone. They got 4 corvettes, including a new Soleimani-class twin-hull catamaran corvettes. Those are gone, because they said the Soleimani-class, they said it's up one. Those are gone. They got 8 frigates. Those are gone. What they have left is probably submarines, amphibious units, and patrol vessels. All the shit that you can see that's big and floats on top of the water, that shit is gone.
And just for a little extra oomph, Ukraine's got our back. They've pioneered the most advanced anti-drone tech, dealing with the swarms of Iranian drones since Putin invaded. Zelensky says he wants to help. Maybe offer us these wild hornets. The Ukrainians built these beautiful, low-cost, fast, agile kamikaze drones. These Iranian drones can be a real nuisance. They're like mosquitoes. But we've been reverse engineering them and shooting them right back at them. It's saving you money.
You remember what you used to always hear? We're shooting down a $50,000 drone with a $2 million missile. These days, we're spending a lot of time shooting down $100,000 drones with $10,000 weapons from ours. So that's one aspect of it. Lucas, indispensable, as many of you know, and if you don't know, this was an original Iranian drone design. We captured it, pulled the guts out, sent it back to America, put a little Made America on it, brought it back here, and we're shooting it at the Iranians.
You know who's getting nervous? The Russians. They've reportedly been helping Iran with intel, giving them locations.
You know, that's very China of the American military. Very Chinese. Cause reverse engineering shit and making it your own. China do that shit all the fucking time. All the time. And so I guess America was like, fuck it, we gonna do that shit too. I'm trying to see if I can find an actual inventory of destroyed vessels hold on. I'm looking at something now. Nah, they got these news outlets that want you to daggum buy membership into their shit. No. I think it says U.S. sinks 9 Iranian warships in Strait of Hormuz campaign with Jamarin class destroyed. So, yeah, they sunk 9 vessels, man. The 2 times Hidian class PPG that looks like a destroyer of some sort. Unknown possible Delvar class Iris Benyador F-81 and Iris Nagidi. And then you have a Iris Jamarian F-26 class. And so the classes of... I'll show you what I'm looking at, folks. These are the ships that are being sunk, guys. Like, you see this here? This is an Iris Jamarian class. Can I close this shit? Hold on. Close this
I
little
swear I
thing
thought
right
this
here.
nigga was bye-bye.
This is an Irish Jamarin F-76. This has been sunk. 2 of these have been sunk. A Bayandor F-81 and a Nagati F-82. And then you have these other 2 right here that have been sunk. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Any other
You sunk my battleship.
So that's what's going on with that. And let's go back to this Jesse thing because I want to show y'all a couple other things and then we're going to be out for the night.
Of our warships and aircraft.
This is about 8 minutes long.
It sounds like the Russians are helping Iran target and attack Americans now.
That's an easy problem compared to what we're doing here.
The Iranian strategy comes down to this. Hunker down.
Let me tell you something. Our daggum president don't give a fuck. And I think Russia knows. Putin has met this dude. Putin knows this dude don't give a fuck.
And wait for America to lose its will. And hit the Arabs and hit the oil to drive up the costs to the alliance. They're losing the war, so they're waging an economic war as a last resort. Their military is nearly neutered. They went from 100 missiles firing a day yesterday. They launched 8. 8. Their fighter jets are Vietnam era. We're fighting a next generation war with a country still stuck in the 60s. Trump's in no rush. He tells Time magazine this: I have no time limits on anything. I want to get it done. The president wants us to keep going.
In Iran, we're doing very well. Somebody said, how would you score it from 0 to 10? I said, I'd give it a 12 to a 15. Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone. 2 sets of their leaders are gone. They're down to their 3rd set. Their air force is wiped out entirely. Other than that, they're doing very well.
As for a ground invasion, POTUS says it's a waste of time. He wants the same thing as Truman.
What the president means is that when he, as commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces, determines that Iran no longer poses a threat to the United States of America and the goals of Operation Epic Fury has been fully realized, then Iran will essentially be in a place of unconditional surrender, whether they say it themselves or not.
Unconditional surrender. We'll know it when we see it. If the mission's a success, the world will owe the president a debt of gratitude because 1/3 of the world's population was within Iranian missile range, from Paris to Calcutta. And with their uranium stockpiles, their ambition was Armageddon. Trump's strategy: decapitate, then delegate.
As for the future of Iran, as the president has pointed to, of course it's in the best interests of the United States of America for Iran to no longer be led by a radical terrorist regime that chants death to America and is lying to the United States and the world about their secret ambitions to possess a nuclear bomb. President Trump does not want to see that.
Another thing on the back of the president's mind: oil. Cargo ships aren't leaving the Strait of Hormuz, and oil just hit $90 a barrel. That's an issue. But the Trump administration's confident that the oil is going to flow.
The bottom line is our expectation is, given the extreme success of our military, that the things that oil markets are concerned about will be less and less relevant relatively soon. It's something that we're following very closely, and we have a high regard for the military that is putting together a plan to make sure that we can get ships through.
The administration has about 3 weeks before the Arabs have to stop production. Eventually, they run out of storage. That's the window, and the president knows it. But he doesn't look worried. He's confident once the regime collapses, the Strait opens, full production resumes, oil and gas prices will plummet, and the market rallies. This is just in from the American defense contractors we're seeing. They met with the White House, and they've agreed to quadruple the production of munitions. They're going to fast track it. Iran's in big trouble. Another domino could fall even closer to home. 47 sending Rubio to Havana. The president says this: I'm doing it all. We'll fix it. You think Biden could do all of this? I don't think so. President's on a roll.
Y'all hear this dude? Okay, so let's think about this, folks, because like I said, I had a friend that was sitting there talking to me about this whole war thing. He was concerned, and we're in a quagmire. And I'm thinking about, and does this sound like somebody that thinks we're gonna be here this long? He already talking about going to Cuba. He was at a meeting with Nick Saban and other people in the NCAA college sports realm, talking about how they're going to fix this whole issue with NIL and shit. And he was laughing and talking with them at a meeting. All the while, there's a fucking war going on. Do you remember at any moment in time during the Iraqi war, was George W. Bush laid back and chilling? Can you think of any time, Max?
I don't remember, man.
I'm gonna tell you like this: this dude is too calm, cool, and collected to be concerned about Iran for it to be going bad like that. If it's going really bad, think about it, folks. You saw the quote he just did. Come on, man. That dude ain't concerned.
Peaceful coexistence among all nations, and he's even showing the Europeans how to save their countries and cultures. Thank God the United States has not sustained a battlefield casualty since Sunday. So the whole work week, no Americans killed in action. We hope Operation Epic Fury continues to be safe for our soldiers, successful, and ahead of schedule. Be sure to like and subscribe for all.
You know what's crazy, man?
What's up?
We could lose probably 1,000 soldiers in, like, let's say at the end of all of this. Let's say let's say this last 2 months and we lose 1,000 soldiers. Was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
If we lose 1,000 soldiers.
Well, you gotta look at it like this. This is something that it's 40 years. Honestly, it's 40 years late. That should have been done years ago. And honestly, the only person who seems like who gave a fuck about it was Donald Trump. And people want to see what, like, it's like what not George W. Bush. Fuck, what's his name? Obama, he just pushed it off to Trump. Then Trump, his first term, he kind of didn't know how to go about things, but now he does, and he's like, nah, I ain't pushing this shit down the line.
A lot of people been pushing shit down the line. He's like, fuck it, we ain't doing this shit no more.
Yeah, we ain't waiting. Like, nah, we're gonna, like, I'm tired of these niggas making empty threats, trying to whenever a president disagree with them, oh, we're gonna kill you now. You know what? That's what you're. Then you gotta remember they have tried to assassinate this motherfucker multiple times too.
Mm-hmm.
And so Trump was like, you know what, man, fuck this shit, nigga.
Hey, they're saying now that Khamenei's son is dead now.
I wouldn't put nigga Trump been on the road. I wouldn't put it past him.
They taking these people out, folks. And I wanted you guys to see this right here. When you hear this right here, this is a sniper talking about Delta Force. This is a sniper talking about some of our capabilities, and we just talking about special forces. If it ever got to a boots on the ground, by the way, Trump has a plan for boots on the ground, and it won't be Americans' boots on the ground. It's going to be the Kurdish forces, and don't get it twisted now. Them Kurdish jokers have been rocking with us since the Iraq War, and it just so happened to be like this. They the only people that don't have their own state.
I'm about to lay it down, Sean.
Cool, man. I'm about to be just doing this. Go ahead and do what you do, man. All right, folks. Say bye-bye to Max, y'all.
Peace out.
Peace out, Max.
Sorry, y'all. I'm not as energetic as I
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Hey, I gotta dip myself too. So
all right, man.
So.
All right, peace out, bro. I'm gonna finish some stuff up, then I'm gone.
All right, y'all.
All right, peace. All right, folks. So let's go with this.
6, tier 1. We were tier 2. Then you have Delta Force, who's above all that. Delta Force outshines, in my opinion, all of them.
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass serious. No one can hold a candle to Delta. We've done buildings, we've cleared buildings with them. They'd hit one target and our helicopter would land right next to theirs and we hit this target. The speed at which they move and the lethality of how they conduct themselves in night, high stress environment. It's no bullshit when I say like ninjas. I never seen a dude sprint on a dead sprint and engage targets at a dead ass sprint, clear a room, rescue a hostage, get out in 3 minutes or whatever. You get 3 of them dudes, 3 guys can damn near win a war. SEAL Team 6.
Ain't that crazy, folks? I'm telling you, folks, our military is more capable than people think. I think they have this memory of the Iraq War and all the botched stuff that went on through that one, but I'm telling you, man, our military is freaking awesome. You hear me? It is freaking awesome, man. And I got another one I want to show you guys. I was looking at this earlier. When I tell you this thing here, man, had me impressed. Had me totally impressed. There was something talking about our B-2 bombers. Where is this at? Where is it at? Sorry, folks. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. And we got so much stuff coming out like the F-47. And no, it's not named the F-47 after Donald Trump. It's named F-47 after the iconic B-47 of earlier years. I'm trying to find it. Nope. You know what? Let me go back up. I'm on my YouTube. I watch so much YouTube. I'll just show y'all this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit here. Look at this shit. This is some other stuff. So, see, so what the Iranians are trying to do is they're trying to beat us through money when it comes to spending ammunition. So, if you don't understand about drone warfare, drones, you can get one off the assembly line for 30 grand. Sometimes 100 at the most. And if you're having to shoot $3 or $4 million rockets to take down these drones, you can see how they can be very expensive. So that's why we have lasers now that actually every time you shoot this thing, it's pennies on the dollar. So some of our ships have those so that they can shoot drones down. You can do it from a long way away. And then we have drones our own. But here's something talking about the laser that we are going to start using. This is why I'm saying, folks, we should not be worried about none of this stuff. And if you have not learned anything from the Venezuela conflict, that it was extremely well thought out. And this is not the same military that we had back when we was in the Iraq war.
Drones pose a real threat to U.S. forces and our Gulf allies. So the Pentagon is now deploying new laser technology to help take them down.
Brian Yennis joins us live from our London bureau. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Lawrence, Ainsley, and Brian. You know, the U.S. Navy is equipped with 2 laser systems that are capable of taking down these Iranian drones, the Odin and the Helios. Now, the Odin was spotted in a CENTCOM video that was released at the beginning of Operation Epic Fury on board the Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer. You can see it there in that box. Now, the Odin blinds drones, firing an infrared beam that overwhelms drone sensors, causing it to crash or fail. There are at least 2 destroyers in Epic Fury that are equipped with the Odin. Now, the Helios is a high-energy laser beam with a high-powered sensor that tracks, blows up drones and missiles in the air by igniting the fuel. Now, the Helios is not confirmed to be deployed in Epic Fury. It's only known to be on a U.S. ship that was last seen in the Indo-Pacific in Japan. Now, these technologies are vital in defending against Iran's drone attacks. Iran has fired off 4 times as many Shahed drones as ballistic missiles.
And once again, folks, like I was mentioning earlier, war is not only about how much damage you can cause, it's always also about cost per ammo, shells, all that stuff. You have to keep track of all that stuff. If it costs you more money to fight in a war than the other person, you may not freaking win unless you can get it done very quickly. And it's when you talk about outlasting somebody, which is like, for instance, they started with the B-2 bombers, and then they went with the B-1 Lancers. The B-1 Lancers get you more penetration in land because they're faster. The B-2 bombers are what you use first because they're stealthier and they can't be picked up by radar. And it's least likely they're able to be shot down. So right now, because of the air superiority we have over Iran, they've started using the B-52 Stratofortress, which is a big lumbering oaf of a plane from way back in the day that has no stealth capabilities. And if we're able to fly that over Iran, you should know about their capabilities to shoot us down.
Attacking our Gulf Arab allies. Now, Iran's biggest advantage is that these drones cost $35,000 to make, but one Patriot missile fired to shoot down these drones costs $4 million per missile. Now, these laser technologies cost pennies per shot, and perhaps they're part of the reason why the U.S. says it is not concerned about running out of munitions in this war.
We've had a number of new capabilities being fielded. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it from an operational perspective of what those are. But I think you have seen over a period of time us kind of get on the other side of this cost curve on drones in general.
Now, meantime, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says he has accepted a request by the U.S. and our Gulf allies to help in countering Iran's drones. Ukraine has become an expert of taking down Shahed drones fired by Russia. This is an ad from a Ukrainian company, Wild Hornets, and it shows the Sting, a low-cost quadcopter interceptor that successfully takes down these drones. Ukraine has also used the Octopus. It's an AI-powered drone interceptor developed by the Ukraine and the UK. It can track drones at night using AI and even go past electronic jamming. The Gulf states are reportedly, guys, discussing using the Octopus to defend themselves with these drone interceptors. They cost about $5,000 to make, much cheaper than the $4 million Patriot missile, which will ensure that our Gulf allies in the U.S. can stay in this fight.
$5,000 to make. That's crazy.
Much advancement in the Ukraine-Russia war. It's been war university for the world, and that's part of it.
That is
Brian,
crazy.
thanks so much.
Thank you. I was reading about these, the laser technology. They say offers a low-cost, high-speed, and nearly limitless magazine for defense, can target, disable, or destroy unmanned aerial systems, fast attack craft, and missiles.
I think the Israelis are using it, and we're using it on the southern border. But they don't like to talk a lot about it. Whatever, it seems like to be the answer. The negativity, they say it has a hard time in cloud cover and has a hard time in rain. So, well, I don't know how much it's raining in the Middle East. That's good for us. So the other big story is if you want to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, if you want to have to be able to really target the IRGC, you have to get rid of short-range and long-range missiles, and especially you got to get rid of the drones. Among the people that are disappointed we haven't done that yet is a guy that used to be at CENTCOM, the Vice Admiral Robert Horwood, who, by the way, grew up, for the most part, in Iran. And he said Central Command has got to take out these missiles, and then everything changes. Watch.
And I'd like to see him make sure there are no more missiles and drones coming out of Iran. And that's still happening. So that's something that would remain number one in my priority list. If we can make sure they can't project power, then we have all the time in the world to go in and take out their production facilities, focus on the IRGC, focus on the nuclear power. They've been focused on this problem for decades. We know the capacity. What's the wild card is how much they grew their drone inventory and how well they've hidden them. But that's got to be top of the list, using your ISR to look for that, hunt it, and to just persistently and consistently strike it, disabling that capability.
And of course, the launchers, too.
That was a great interview because he talked about he went to the Naval Academy, and some of his peers at the academy also grew up with him in Iran. He moved to Iran in like 5th grade, right, and stayed there through because his dad's job.
In the 60s. Yeah.
Right, and he said some of his friends he's talked to him, they're all cheering, they're excited for hopefully a change in regime.
No, I think to the point that the guest was making, the Admiral, I think this is on the list for the Pentagon. You know, none of us are privy to the plan that the Secretary of War and, you know, CENTCOM are operating with. But, you know, the general did make it very clear that they are using different capabilities that we hadn't used in modern day time. I think one thing the audience has to take in consideration when we have guests on, especially past generals, there are going to be differences in strategies on how they perceive the war should be ran based on their experience. But, you know, there's only a few people that are in the room that are making those decisions
and that actually know, that have the intel.
To make those decisions.
But right now, taking out those launchers, I mean, when you have hundreds of jets flying in over that war zone, you got to think that they're hitting all this stuff. And what they've done, and you can see the propaganda video that's out, underground are just hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of drones underground. Oh, yeah. So we have to find out where they are. And those are the Shahed drones who basically we learn from. Those are one-way attack drones, suicide drones. But so much of this stuff came out of Ukraine. That's why we are asking Ukraine to help with their drone technology. And they have said, we're going to help any country that's helped us. So they're helping them out. And that's why everyone's watching war change in real time ever since Russia invaded Ukraine.
And we also have to consider this, and maybe this is too much in the weeds, but to explain, Johnny Ratcliffe, who was phenomenal running the CIA, part of how we've been so successful is our human intel that are on the ground. The moment a country is now in war, the way they move around the country is much different. So we got to take that in consideration. They're reporting back to command on what they're seeing on the ground.
We haven't talked about in I guess a week. We talked a lot about there are so many people that live in Iran that were not in support of the Ayatollah.
Right.
So they were helping out Israel or helping out neighboring countries, maybe even America, with what's going on.
That's right.
On the ground in Iran. Is that still happening?
Well, I know you were going to be a dentist, right?
Unorthodox.
All right, so I'm going to get into this last video, guys. And this shows you there's so much that our military can do. We spend more money on more budget on the military than the next, 7 to 8 countries combined. All right, so this, as you see on the screen, this is actually the old B-2 stealth bomber. It's been out since the 90s. We got somebody that's replacing it with another bomber that's coming up by 2032. And it should be battle ready by 2027. But let's listen to this.
American bombers are destroying Iran's missile stockpiles and destroying the factories that are making the missiles. That means Iran is losing what they have right now, and they're losing the ability to build more. This is exactly why the B-2 Spirit has become Iran's worst nightmare. Let me show you, but first let's hear from Central Command's Admiral Cooper on exactly how much damage these bombers have done in just last 72 hours. Take a listen.
We are now starting our 6th day of a historic mission to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans. We are, if I could channel my inner Navy officer, we are at full speed ahead in executing orders given by leadership in Washington. The President and Secretary Hegseth have been crystal clear in their expectations, and we are at a high level of execution. As described by the Secretary and earlier this week by me, U.S. combat power is building as Iranian combat power declines. Our air dominance allows us to hit Iran's center of gravity with overwhelming power and reach. A couple of examples. In just the last 72 hours, America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside of Iran, including around Tehran. And in just the last hour, U.S. B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers. Notably, we've also struck Iran's equivalent of Space Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans.
Iran's entire ballistic missile program is being dismantled, from production facilities to storage bunkers to everything else that is buried deep underground or hidden in the mountains. US did this with 3 types of bombers, each with a very specific role. Now, as you guys may already know, there are 3 strategic bombers: the B-2 Stratus Fortress, the B-1B Lancer, and the B-2 Spirit. Here's how they were used in sequence, each setting up the next. First, we had B-2 Spirit stealth bombers conducting initial penetration strikes. They slipped through Iranian air defenses undetected and hit the most protected targets first. Then we had B-1B Lancers with high-speed strike missions, basically supersonic attacks on targets that were made possible by B-2's initial raid. And then we had the B-52s, which conducted heavy sustained bombing wave after wave, overwhelming whatever defenses that remained. That was the playbook: stealth, speed, volume. The B-52 entered service in 1955. That's 70 years ago, but the Air Force plans on keep flying this aircraft until 2050s, just with a newer engine. As of right now, we have 76 aircrafts that are still operational. Each has a range of around 8,700 miles, or roughly 14,000 kilometers. Each of these can carry roughly 70,000 pounds of bombs and missiles. And then there's the B-1B Lancer, which entered service in 1986, and we still have around 45.
That is my favorite bomber. I don't give a damn about that stealth bomb. I don't give a damn. I like the way the wings sweep. I like the fastness of it. It's so swift and quick. And now they got it to where they started fitting missiles that can fit up underneath the fuselage, like on a jet, instead of inside the bomber bay doors. They started doing that shit now, so the payloads increase.
5 aircrafts that are operational today. Each one can carry roughly 75,000 pounds of payload, one of the largest conventional bomb loads of any aircraft in the world. This is exactly why the B-1B brings speed and volume. When it shows up, things get destroyed fast. Now,
and if you wonder why they're using all these different bombers, folks, it's because you gotta, like we mentioned earlier about, it doesn't make any sense to shoot down. It doesn't make any sense to shoot down a $30,000 drone with a $1 million damn Patriot missile. It really just doesn't. So now you're talking about cost to operate. So the B-2 bomber costs the most to operate. So that's the one you're not going to use as much. That's to be used when your enemy has very capable air defenses and detection systems. Right, it's a stealth bomber. We got a stealth fighter too, but it's a stealth bomber. You got me? So you have that. Then, as you're able to take out those air defenses and scramble their their detection systems, and you come in with the B-1 Lancer. And that one can penetrate further in the interior of that country because it's faster. So once you get all of that bullshit out the way, and once again, as I'm saying these cost less and less to operate. If I'm not mistaken, the B-2 bomber actually costs about $300K per mission. And the B-1 Lancer is around 200 and something K. And the Strata Fortress is only about a good 100K, something like that. It gets less.
Now,
They might
for
mention it.
B2s, we have a special segment from none other than former Navy SEAL Chuck Farr. But before we get into that, we actually have some footage that might be one of these bombers operating over Iran. No one knows exactly which bomber this is, so maybe you guys can take a guess and drop it in the comments. Take a look at the clip.
How can you tell what bomber it is because it don't show it on the screen? I can guess by the fact it might be a B2. Notice. I want y'all to notice something. These people are on some rooftop or on their balcony watching this shit. Yet they said that we targeted some school kids. No, our bombs are so smart and they're GPS guided. Meaning, if the motherfuckers want to blow up the apartment next to mine may sustain some damage, but them jokers over there on the other side of the street, they not gonna sustain jack. The collateral damage is very minuscule, y'all.
Now, a lot of people online think that this is the B-2 Spirit. So let's get into the B-2 Spirit because this is the bomber that's been Iran's worst nightmare. As I said, we recently had former Navy SEAL squadron leader Chuck Farr break down the B-2 in detail. The history, the design, the stealth technology, why it costs so much, and what makes it so effective. This segment basically explains why no other country has anything like the B-2 and why Iranian air defenses never saw it coming. Now, before we get into this segment...
Also, I want y'all to understand that the Iranian air defenses, they bought some units from Russia and China, which, if you can remember, guys, from the last time we bombed Iran, them bitches ain't hit shit. They didn't even know we was coming. So, Iran also reverse engineered the missile defense systems of the Russian and the China thing, which means that if you reverse engineer but you didn't innovate or try to improve, you got the same piece of shit, if not worse than what you bought. And that's why y'all have heard about nobody getting shot down other than the 3 F-15s that fucking Kuwait friendly fire. Other than that, you ain't heard nothing, and you won't.
Just a quick request. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. It really helps us reach more people, and then it lets us bring in veterans like Chuck who have real experience to share with our audience. So let's get into it.
Coming at you, it looks like a UFO or a flying knife. It's not an alien visitor, but the dark, pulsing heart of American power projection. A marvel of engineering that defies radar, shrugs off air defense, and delivers precision hurt out of a clear blue sky. Meet the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit, the stealth bomber. A flying wing that's been haunting enemy skies since its combat debut in the 1990s. Developed in absolute secrecy at Area 51, born from Cold War paranoia and honed in the fires of modern conflict, the B-2 is a
So Area 51, meaning that this possibly was developed from alien tech.
Testament to what happens when you marry cutting-edge technology with a vital mission set. Penetrate, strike, and vanish. So let's peel back the shroud on this enigmatic warbird. Its flight controls, radar-dodging wizardry, electronic warfare chops, and the raw power it brings to the fight. Then we'll walk through its recent battle scars and peek at its successor, the B-21 Raider, lurking just over the horizon and poised to redefine aerial dominance. The B-2 isn't just an airplane, it's a physics-defying anomaly. A tailless, bat-like silhouette with a 172-foot wingspan, it's a flying wing design that traces its lineage back to Jack Northrop's visionary sketches from the 1940s. Without a vertical stabilizer or traditional tail, you think this thing would spiral like a drunk bat dropped into a blender, but that's where the specialized flight control systems turn on and take over. The B-2 flies on a quadruplex redundant fly-by-wire system, 4 independent channels of digital magic that keep it stable in the air. Sensors and computers make connections faster than thought, adjusting 8 trailing edge control surfaces to tame the B-2's inherent aerodynamic instability. Pitch, yaw, roll. It's all handled by a brain trust of processors that would make a mega geek lick their chops. The use of specialist semiconductors and bleeding edge computational equipment work without the usual electromagnetic signatures generated by
Man, that
consumer
thing look nice, don't it?
The Eye of Sauron can pinpoint your iPhone and laptop even as you watch this video, but it can't track the B-2.
For all my third Earth nerds, did you hear that? He said the Eye of Sauron can track what you doing now, but cannot track the B-2 spirit. Whew, God.
The B-2 is an electromagnetic ghost, traveling at 0.9 Mach,
So
just
that's
under
how
the
they
speed
do
of
it.
sound. The real magic happens at low altitude. The B-2's terrain-following radar, integrated into the AN/APQ-181 system, lets it hug the ground at something less than 200 feet,
200
while
feet
screaming
is not a
along
lot,
at
y'all.
600 miles an hour. It's not flying. That's threading a needle through the combat zone, blasting
200 feet
squirrels
is not
out of
far up.
treetops with jet exhaust and hopping ridge tops to stay below enemy radar horizons. The crew, just 2 pilots, no more, sit in a cockpit that's less about stick and rudder bravado and more about managing a supercomputer with wings. A third crew seat was ditched to save weight, leaving the duo to handle navigation, weapons, and systems via multifunction displays. It's no small task when you are transonic and on the deck on a moonless night. It's a ballet of automation, a symphony
Not
of
a
code,
moonless night.
hydraulics, and pilot skill. It's
Not a
why the
moonless
B-2
night,
can slip
douche.
through defended airspace and denied areas like it never happened. Well, stealth isn't just the buzzword for the B-2, it's the whole game. Its radar cross-section is a closely guarded secret. Pentagon insiders peg it at about 0.1 square meters, or about the size of a bumblebee. For context, a B-52's radar cross-section is a barn door and more than 100 square meters, a blip that a SAM battery can lock on from 100 miles out. So how does the B-2 pull this off? We'll start with a shape. No sharp edges, no protrusions, just smooth flowing curves that scatter radar waves like a magician's misdirection.
So basically the radar waves will bounce off it.
Carbon fiber, aerodynamic thermoplastics, and other classified goodies don't just deflect radar, they absorb it. Layer on radar absorbing materials, a secret sauce of coatings and paints,
Thermoplastics,
suck up
meaning that lower
electromagnetic
temperature
energy and spit out heat instead of
decreases
reflection.
the
You've got
thermal
a strategic
signature.
strike platform and a flying wraith. The engines, 4 General Electric F-118s, each cranking out 17,300 pounds of thrust, are buried deep within the wing. Their exhausts vented topside through serpentine ducts to mask heat signatures and also muffle noise. Even the blades of the jet turbines are stealthy. Made from single crystals of classified metal alloys, they can take the heat.
Classified metal alloys. Alien tech.
And not reflect radar waves. Antennas retract flush within the skin, and the flaps lock down in stealth mode, and even paint the dark anti-reflective gray. It blends into the high altitude sky at altitudes above 50,000 feet. Maintenance crews treat this bird like a diva. Every scratch or ding gets fixed pronto, lest it compromise the radar cross-section. The result? Enemy air defenders see a flicker, maybe a glitch, but nothing solid enough to lock onto. The stealth bomber's not invisible, it's just irrelevant to the sensors hunting for it, a shadow that slips through the net. The B-2 doesn't just hide, it fights dirty in the electromagnetic spectrum. Its AN/APR-63 defensive management system is the brains behind the electronic warfare suite. It's a rig that's...
And you think, excuse my language, some sand nigga from Timbuktu who spends a tenth of what we spend on freaking defense is going to be able to compete with us. Hey, let's even consider the fact that Obama and Biden gave billions to these jokers. Do you know what 1 year's budget of our military is? It's around $900 and some billion. They still, they don't have the money. They don't have the investment to keep up with us. That's why I don't understand why people be so worried about stuff. If you, I'm telling you, man, when your president is Jesus, and I'm not talking about Donald Trump, I'm talking about being a Christian and having faith in God. When your president is Jesus, you don't be worrying about all this stuff. He took care of all of it already. Shoot.
Sniffs out radar emissions and pinpoints threats, fighter radars, even AWACS pings, and feeds real-time intelligence to the flight crew. Paired with the low probability of intercept AN/APQ 181 radar, it's a ghost that can see without being seen, mapping terrain and targets with minimal emission. Upgrades let the B-2 dynamically reroute mid-flight, dodging emerging threats like a chess grandmaster sidestepping a checkmate. Electronic countermeasures are the B-2's shield and sword. Chaff and flares are old-school tricks, clouds of metal strips and heat decoys to spoof missiles, but there's more under the hood. Active jamming is an asset, although specifics are locked in a vault somewhere 15 stories under Hangar 1 at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The defense management system can pump out static or false signals to blind and fritz enemy radars, turning their own systems into liabilities. Some speculate the B-2s got towed decoys or directional jammers, but the Air Force isn't confirming. What's clear is this: the B-2's electronic warfare kit doesn't just protect it, it cuts the need for escort fighters or suppression of enemy air defense missions. Alone, it's a one-bird wrecking crew, rewriting the rules of air combat: speed, range, and endurance. Subsonic at Mach 0.95, around 650 miles an hour, the B-2 won't win a drag race with an F-22 or outrun a MiG-31. But speed isn't its game. Reach is. With a combat range of 6,000 nautical miles unrefueled and over 10,000 with
6,000 nautical miles unrefueled. So that's probably about 12,000 on one refuel.
One mid-air top-up from a KC-135, the B-2 can
top up now. Top up. We ain't even talking about. What does top up usually mean, folks? You have a tank and they probably topped you up, or 3/4 of a tank. 10,000 miles. If it's 6,000 on a tank, and you spend half a tank, that's 3,000. Right? You top it up, you can go 10,000 miles.
launch from Whitman Air Force Base in Missouri, hit a target, say, in North Korea or maybe Iran, and be back for breakfast. Mission endurance? Crews have flown 44-hour marathons. Think Kosovo in 1999.
Listen to this, why they can fly like this. Listen to this shit.
Or Afghanistan in 2001, thanks to a cot, a commercial toilet, and sheer grit. Those F-118 engines
Cot, a commercial toilet, and sheer
efficiently
grit.
enough to keep the B-2 aloft for days.
So one person fly, the other one sleep. They take turns. You take a piss mid-flight, put that bitch on dang autopilot. You know what I'm saying? 40 hours?
With tanker support, turning out thrust with a whisper-quiet profile. The B-2 isn't fast. It's relentless. A marathon runner in a speed-obsessed world. Cruise missiles and free-fall weapons. The B-2's internal bomb bays are a pair of 20,000-pound hurt lockers, capable of hauling a total weapons load of 40,000 pounds of nuclear or conventional pain.
40,000 of nuclear.
Standoff or gravity-dropped ordnance. Air-launched cruise missiles like the...
Y'all do know what standoff means. It means basically you could be hundreds of miles away from the target and they don't even know you coming, and you shoot that bitch. And then you turn your ass around and go the fuck home after you confirm a hit.
AGM-158, JASM.
So cruise missile. Cruise missile, that bitch can hit anything longitudinal or vertical. So basically, if that shit is a plane under a bunker or a hangar, Instead of hitting that bitch like this, that bitch will hit that bitch like this. Shoot it from way out here. That joker be altitude. It come down, come down, come down, come down, come down. Zoop, go right into that damn hangar. Sure will.
The Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile, give it a 230 to 575 mile.
Look at that. 230 to 575 mile reach. I mean, you ain't even got to get close to people no more.
Reach. The missile itself is stealthy enough to slip past defenses before serving up a 1,000-pound warhead delivered hot and fresh into an enemy bunker or headquarters.
But of course, you increase the percentage of success if you have stealth, you get close enough, you shoot that bitch from 4 or 5 miles away.
The AGM-154 JSOW, Joint Standoff Weapon, glides 80...
Oh, and these missiles, some of these cruise missiles cruise at an Mach 5, Mach 4.
miles to deliver cluster munitions or precision bomb, perfect for softening up airfields, troop concentrations, or missile silo. If you want to go old school, it's got the classics. Free-fall munitions, up to 80. Yes, I said 80. Mark 82 JDAM, 500...
Mark 82 JDAM. GPS guided free fall bomb.
100-pound GPS guided bombs for saturation strike, or 16 B-83 nuclear bombs, 1.2 megatons each, for when you need to erase a grid square and say goodbye forever. When you want to send a distinct but non-nuclear message, the B-2 can haul the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, a 30,000-pound bunker buster that can punch through 200 feet.
200 feet. All right, so basically, next time you come to an intersection, you get to the point where you can actually see the name of the street that you're about to cross. Not read it clearly. I mean, like actually see the sign. That's how far underneath that the surface this bitch will punch. Like, okay, so let's put it to you like this. Let's say if any of y'all play football or been near a football field, 200 feet is somewhere around, let's see, 365 times 3 is like 50 yards. 50 yards.
Underground to gut command centers, nuclear facilities, or weapons cache. The B-2's payload is flexible. Standoff one day, precision conventional the next day, or nuclear on doomsday, making it into a strategic Swiss Army knife, ready for any fight. The B-2's been busy, proving its worth in hotspots where stealth matters most. Take Libya, 2011, Operation Odyssey Dawn. On March 19th, 3 B-2s...
My bad, folks, that's 66.67 yards.
Flew a 25-hour round trip from Whitman to drop 45 JDAMs on Gaddafi's airfields near Tripoli, shredding 40 hardened aircraft shelters. No escorts, no losses, just a silently delivered gut Libya's Air Force overnight. Fast forward, January 2017, Operation Inherent Resolve. A pair of B-2s hit ISIS camps near Sirte, unloading 108 JDAM to obliterate training sites and staging areas. A 34-hour marathon, and ISIS leadership woke up dead, buried in rubble and ruin. Then there's Yemen, October 2024. Amid Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping, B-2s struck weapons depot and drone facilities in Sana'a. Details are murky, but locals reported thunder from a clear sky. Each mission showcases the B-2's ability to hit hard from afar without a whisper heard on the ground or a blip on enemy radar. Only 19 remain in service today, down from 21 after crashes in 2008 and 2022. But the remaining fleet still packs a hell of a punch when the balloon goes up. The next ghost in line are the B-2's successors. For the B-2's days are numbered, slated for retirement by 2032. It's handling the baton to the B-21 Raider. Unveiled in December 2022 at Palmdale, California, this Northrop Grumman prodigy builds on the B-2's legacy with a vengeance. Smaller, leaner, and cheaper at $700 million a pop versus the B-2's inflation-adjusted $2 billion. Radar cross-section is rumored to be insect size. Think fruit fly. not B, thanks to next-gen radar-absorbing materials.
That's
and refined
crazy.
Flying wing.
So this joker is the size of a bee on a radar. So about that size on a radar, y'all. That's the B2. Now, the B1, the Raider that's coming out, oh, that joker's going to be, I can't even show, fruit fly size, y'all, on a radar.
Shape. Its engines, likely Pratt & Whitney F-135s, promise better efficiency and stealth, with a range pushing 6,000 plus miles unrefueled, enough to strike anywhere on Earth from the continental United States with a single tanker assist. The B-21's electronic warfare suite and avionics are light years ahead, with open architecture software for quick upgrades and networks sensor shooter capabilities.
That's still the B2 because the Raider
or linking
basically has a point at the back.
Dodging hypersonic missiles. Payload? It'll tote the B-61-12 nuclear bomb, AGM-181 long-range standoff cruise missiles, and a slew of precision conventional toys, all in a 12 to 13-ton bomb bay, slightly less than the B-2, but optimized for versatility and pinpoint accuracy on surface and deeply buried and hardened targets. The Air Force wants 100 new Raiders, maybe 200, to flood the zone with ghosts. The Raider's first flight was November 2023. It'll be combat ready by 2027. It's not just a replacement. The Raider's a revolution, built to face China's J-20s and Russia's vaunted Prometheus S-500 air defense combat.
Now check this out. Those Prometheus air defenses, Iran got some of them and they already beat them. The China J-20, so basically this bomber is supposed to go against the J-20s.
Plexus. Head on. The verdict, the B-2 Spirit redefined what a bomber could be. Silent, lethal, untouchable. Its flight controls tamed a radical design. Its stealth rewrote air defense nightmares, and its electronic warfare kit made it a lone wolf in the battle space.
Well, folks, it's been a nice one. I want to go ahead and sign off for tonight. But I want y'all all to know, keep your head up, keep God close to you, man. Don't worry about all this stuff going on. It's said in the word, there will be wars and there'll be rumor of wars, okay? So don't worry about all this stuff, man. It's going to be all right. Find Jesus. Let's go.